This is Phil Foden.
Here's Phil Foden.
He is absolutely unbelievable, an absolute joy to watch. I love players that come through the ranks at their football clubs where they start off from a young age, and Manchester City is a tough place because they can go and buy anyone, the best players in the world, but Phil is right up there with them.
This is Bukayo Saka.
Saka! Brilliance!
He's earned this place. He's got so much talent, so much talent. I do think that there is so much more to come from him, but it's only a matter of time, I think.
This is Foden again.
And in towards Phil Foden!
And this is Saka again.
And there's Bukayo Saka! Who else?
Foden, the Stockport kid who grew up in Manchester City's academy, who stepped into Pep Guardiola's team in 2017 and never looked back. Saka, the Hale End prodigy, who broke into Arsenal's first team in 2018 and instantly became the face of their rebuild. Two academy boys, two fan favorites, and two players who carry massive expectations every time they touch the pitch. By now, Foden has stacked his cabinet with almost every trophy you can win at club level. The Premier League, domestic cups, even the Champions League. Saka hasn't had anywhere near the same team success, but he's been Arsenal's heartbeat for years. He's delivered goals, assists, and a consistency at a level that puts him among the best wingers in the world. I mean, they literally asked Arsenal fans whether they would exchange Saka for a title, and they said no.
Deal or no deal. You win the league this year, but Saka goes in the summer.
That's a mad question, bro.
Saka ain't going nowhere, bro.
Never. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. That's our star boy. That's like the...
City fans wouldn't trade Foden for anyone. Arsenal fans see Saka as untouchable. And honestly, both sides are kind of right. When you see one of your own make it all the way from the academy to the face of the first team, why would you want to let them go? Both were England youth internationals before they became senior stars. Foden grew up in Stockport and joined Manchester City's academy when he was literally just a kid, aged 4. He was always seen as a special talent, and in 2017 he proved it by winning the Golden Ball at the Under-17 World Cup. A few months later, he made his debut for Pep's first team.
He has become already a top-class football player. He was a before little boy, good actions. Now has become already Phil, a world-class top player. He's so good. Can play in everywhere, especially in the central position. He's really, really, really good.
Saka's path was different, but just as impressive. He joined Arsenal's famous Hale End Academy at 7 years old and worked his way through every age group. He even had a short spell at Watford's youth setup before coming back to Arsenal. By late 2018, at just 17, he made his senior debut and instantly looked like someone who belonged at this level. Both Foden and Saka were excelling at youth level. Foden has spent his entire senior career at Manchester City, which tells you how good he is. City don't keep players around unless they're good enough, and Foden earned Pep's trust very early. At first he was coming off the bench, learning the system and adapting to the pace of the Premier League. But every single season he's taken another step in his game. By 2025 he had over 200 Premier League appearances and 66 league goals, and more than 300 games and 100 plus goals in all competitions. Pretty crazy stats for someone who is still in his mid-20s. And then you get to the trophies, which City fans love to remind everyone about. And it makes sense. Foden has won 6 Premier League titles, 4 League Cups, 2 FA Cups, a Champions League, and of course he was part of the 2023 treble winning team. He's played everywhere in City's attack. Left wing, right wing, attacking midfielder, false 9, as a box-to-box midfielder.
A purist, a footballer, a technician. There's no one better than this kid. I mean, he's just unbelievable. He plays in different positions. I think he's an 8. He's a fantastic 8. He drives forward. He scores goals from midfield. But Phil can do anything.
Foden's breakout seasons really came in the 2022-2023 season and the 2023-2024 season. That's when he went from being just a talented youngster to one of City's most important attackers. I mean, without him, they literally don't win the 2024 Premier League title. The man scored 19 league goals. Over time, he went from Pep's experiment to Pep's guaranteed starter. Now, Saka has also been a one-club man. Ever since debuting for the Gunners in 2018, he instantly became one of their most important players. He has played 200 Premier League games, scored 50 plus goals, and has nearly 300 appearances in all competitions.
The job that he's doing and the improvements that he's making every single day are just frightening. You know, the level he's getting to, because he can score goals, he can make goals, he's got great desire, he runs in behind, he's so difficult to defend against.
Unlike Foden, he doesn't have a big trophy list, which for some people might just end the debate right here. But I will remind you you guys that we have to look past team accolades when we're comparing individual ability. Arsenal haven't dominated like City as a team, but Saka's individual impact has been enormous. He helped Arsenal win the FA Cup in 2020, plus 2 Community Shields, and he's been the centerpiece of the rebuild under Mikel Arteta. Every year his numbers have improved.
Because that's how you're gonna perform and go on to hopefully win the big trophies. You want competition in the team, and you know the fact is he's level enough to know that he's just got to keep performing to stay in there himself. That's the main thing.
He went from scoring 5 goals in the 2020-2021 season to 11 goals the next season, and then 14 league goals in Arsenal's 2022-2023 title charge. And then he followed that up with 20 goals and 17 assists in the 2023-2024 season.
Well, I think he's the best winger in the world. I think he's better than Vinicius Jr. I think he's more effective, and I think him coming back into the side has given a shot in the Arsenal arm.
I actually think we would have seen some insane numbers from him last season if it wasn't for his hamstring injury. The man was at the top of the charts for assists and big chances created for months, even though he was injured. And then if we look past the numbers, he's been Arsenal's main source of creativity. Their attacks literally run through him. Everything comes from that right-hand side. Saka has also had a share of iconic moments throughout his Arsenal career, like his long-range Europa League goal in 2019, his 2 assists in that same game, and his FA Cup goal in 2020. By 2023, he was the face of Arsenal's resurgence, consistently delivering in the big fixtures, like against United, Liverpool, Spurs. On October 4th, 2025, he hit a huge milestone, 200 Premier League appearances, and he celebrated it by scoring his 55th league goal. When you line up their numbers side by side, you really see how good both players have been for their clubs. Foden has played so many games for Manchester City and has scored for them in all competitions. I mean, the man has played over 300 games and has scored 100 plus goals. And keep in mind, Foden does not take pens. The man is an ethical footballer. Pretty much all of his goals come from open play. Now, Saka has played around the same amount of Premier League games, but he has slightly less goals, both in the league and in all competitions. But the fact that he's still able to get such good statistical output, even though he plays for a team that doesn't score as freely as City, shows that his output is elite. Of course, when it comes to trophies though, Foden really shines. Playing for Pep Guardiola, he's collected a medal haul that doesn't even feel real sometimes. Saka's trophy list is nowhere near him, but what really sets Saka apart isn't the number of trophies, it's that he became Arsenal's most important player at such a young age. He even made history as the youngest Arsenal player to reach 50 Premier League goals, and he holds the club record for 83 consecutive league starts. That level of consistency at his age is almost unheard of. Now, Foden also made history early in his career. He became the youngest English player ever to receive a Premier League winner's medal. And since that moment, he's picked up a lot of individual recognition. He won Man City's Player of the Year in the 2023-2024 season and was named the Premier League Young Player of the Season twice. In the 2023-2024 season, he was also the Player of the Year for the Premier League. Saka has his own individual awards too. He won Arsenal's Player of the Season 2 years in a row, becoming the first gunner to do that since Thierry Henry. 2 different environments, 2 different pressures, but both players have delivered at the highest level for their clubs. But when it comes to England and the national team, the story flips. Because as we have seen, Foden definitely has the edge at club level. He's won more team trophies, has received more individual honors, and has significantly more iconic moments. But for the national team, Saka has been the one delivering more consistently. Both players joined the England senior squad around the same time in late 2020, and by 2025, their numbers look like this. Phil Foden, 47 caps, 4 goals. Saka, 48 caps, 14 goals. Right away, you can see the difference. Saka has more than triple Foden's goal tally, and that's not by accident. Foden's England journey has had some bright moments. He scored twice against Iceland in the Nations League shortly after debuting. He scored at the 2022 World Cup, and he's played in big tournament matches. But overall, his England form has never fully matched what he shows every week for Manchester City. Now, some people might argue that the reason for that is role and tactics. At City, Foden plays in a system that suits him perfectly. High tempo, lots of rotations, tons of touches, and the freedom to drift and attack. For England, he's often pushed into roles that don't really bring out his strengths. Sometimes he's too wide, and more often than not, he's asked to play in ways that don't resemble City at all. His supporters would argue that he's not been bad for England, he just hasn't been utilized properly, and you feel that at every major tournament. Saka, meanwhile, has stepped into the England squad exactly the same way he plays for Arsenal. He's on the right wing, he cuts inside, he attacks the fullbacks, and he scores goals. A familiar role, familiar movements, and the results speak for themselves. He scored twice at the 2022 World Cup. He scored big goals goals in the Euro qualifiers, and he's been England's most reliable attacker in knockout games since 2021. I mean, look at his goal in the Euro 2024 knockouts. And the man is still taking penalties after the heartbreak of the Euro 2020 final shootout. That says a lot about his mentality.
He has learned so much from the last 2-3 years, especially after what happened after the Euro. You know, the racist comment, penalty, things like this. He has become much more mature. He seems such a sweet person, you know, on the pitch, but as well his commitment, the way he plays all the time, 100%. He give always 100% on the pitch. He's very linked, you know, with the Arsenal shirt and with the national shirt as well. So he loves what he's doing on the pitch, and you can see that he still have a big margin in front of him, but he has improved so much for the last 2-3 years. So yes, for me, he's definitely an international player. He has shown so much quality on the pitch for months with Arsenal, but as well with the national team.
Now in Euro 2020, he didn't play much, but he looked good in the few opportunities he was given. His performance against the Czech really stood out. Foden's impact during that time was minimal as well. He featured against Croatia, Scotland, and Denmark, but nothing to write home about. Keep in mind, that season at club level, he got 16 goals and 10 assists for City as they won the league and made it to the Champions League final. Then at the 2022 World Cup, Saka was one of England's best players. He got 2 goals against Iran, scored against Senegal, and picked up an assist against France. Foden had some good moments too, like his 2 assists against Senegal and his goal against Wales, but once again, Saka was one of the main guys. Foden was more of a passenger. Then in Euro 2024, Saka again was much better. He got an assist against Serbia and got a crucial goal in the quarterfinals against Switzerland. Now 1 goal and 1 assist doesn't seem like a lot, but Saka was by far and away one of England's most important players. He's their best right winger by a mile and a huge part of their attack. He's been their go-to guy in the past few tournaments. He's already scored more goals than Foden, been England's player of the year twice, and he's rarely had an off day for the national team. Foden's England story isn't bad, but like I said earlier, it's not great either, especially for a player who has been so good at club level. City fans argue that if he was used like he is at City, the gap between him and Saka internationally would be much smaller. It's tough to tell. Southgate did use him in all different kinds of roles, but he was never able to replicate his City form at the international level. Maybe Thomas Tuchel has a better solution. Now, even though both guys are attacking players, they don't play the game the same way. Their styles almost represent the clubs they play for. Foden is the classic City player. Left-footed, small, but very silky on the ball, very clever, and insanely good in tight spaces. He loves drifting into those central pockets, linking with the play, making quick turns, and threading these little passes that break defenses. For City, he can play almost anywhere in the attack. I've seen him play on the left, on the right, as an attacking midfielder, and he always looks comfortable. He's not the fastest sprinter, but he doesn't need to be.
It's his versatility, the fact that he can play on the left, on the right, he can play in a 10, in a false 9. He's got everything, whether it's his first touch, his vision, his awareness of things around him, his goals. And I think with every Manchester City player, he's also got that work rate where he will do everything to win the ball back, whether that's pressing from the front, whether that's tracking back at the end of the game. Yeah, he's got absolutely everything.
His balance, control, and football IQ are what make him special. Don't just take my word for it. Pep has literally called him a special player, and that's not something he says lightly. I know Pep glazes a lot of players, but it's very obvious how much he values Foden, especially after he pretty much carried Pep to a title in 2024. Foden grew up with Pep's system, so his game is all about technical quality, tight control, smart passing, quick combination plays, and then finishing with clever movement. Saka is a completely different weapon. Yes, he's left-footed too and he loves to cut in from the right, but he's a straight right winger. He plays in the exact same role for both club and country. Yes, he is also versatile. We have seen him play as a left winger and even at left back at Arsenal, but he's pretty much established himself permanently as the go-to right winger now. Saka is very good on the ball too, but not as good as Foden. But what Saka does have is another gear physically. Foden relies on his technique. Saka uses pace, power. Foden plays like English David Silva. Saka plays more like Black Aryan Robben. Just like Robben, Saka loves to cut in on his left, though his right foot is significantly better than Robben's. Saka's strengths are his pace, his upper body strength, his powerful finishing, his great crossing, and his fantastic work rate. He defends more than Foden. Now, part of that is because Arsenal asked him to track back and help out.
Saka has to do more defending. He's part of a team. He's not allowed to just be a luxury. He's not allowed to be the star.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He has to do all that work going back. He has to do the pressing.
Now, of course, Foden also tracks back and he works very hard. Saka just does it more. Foden plays in between the lines. Saka hugs the touchline. Saka's crossing and set piece delivery edges Foden. But Foden is a better finisher and a much bigger threat from outside the box. Seriously, Foden anywhere near the edge of the box with space is basically a guaranteed goal. The Foden versus Saka debate is huge because both fan bases love their guy. And both have their own arguments. City fans always point to Foden's ridiculous trophy cabinet, and why wouldn't they? He's won almost everything there is to win. Arsenal fans unfortunately don't have any trophies to show, but they go, well, Saka has carried our attack every single season. He's delivered in massive moments. Look at what he did to Bayern in 2024 in the Champions League, and him recreating Henry's celebration against Madrid at the Bernabeu. Well, City fans argue back that Foden has also delivered in massive ways. Look at City's treble season, and anybody that thought he was just a passenger for that season had to eat their words because of what Foden did to help City win the league in 2024. He was the main guy, the player of the year, the best player in the league that season. Then he's also had big performances on Champions League nights. Yes, Saka has had more league starts in a row. He's basically been automatic in Arsenal's lineup. But while Foden was rotated early in his career, he's not one of Pep's first names on the team sheet. Foden has also won way more individual awards. I mean, Saka's never been the PFA Player of the Year. On the other hand, Saka's been England's Men's Player of the Year twice, showing just how important he is to the national team. Both players are somehow still young. They still have years of development ahead of them. And this debate, it's not going anywhere soon. It wouldn't be shocking if one of these guys ended up in the Ballon d'Or conversation someday, because that's just how good they are. So who do you prefer? Would you rather have Phil Foden or Bukayo Saka? If you have an answer for that, then you will love this debate on Caicedo versus Rice. Check it out right here.